It's chapters like these that prove that Oda is a master troll. Like, he trolled Naruto so fucking bad. I think the reason why he decided to do this and go with this design that looks ugly as hell and so retarded is because, exactly because he knew that people were going to compare this to Naruto. So he was just, I'm just going to troll. I'm just going to fucking troll. He picks, like, the face of an actual troll. Like, the troll meme with, like, the body of a little person. And he's doing shadow clone jutsu. And, of course, you have Luffy and all the other guys telling him, you should do water release, fire release, lightning release, do something cool. And Law's the one that brings up Shadow Clone Jutsu. Like, what the fuck? This is Oda's version of Naruto. If Oda had written Naruto, this is what we would have gotten. Like a little Oompa Loompa running around throwing shurikens at people. If you were expecting Raizo to have the character design of a badass ninja, then this chapter was obviously a huge fucking letdown for you. Now, in the beginning, we get some promotional art for Film Gold, which I thought was okay. Like, I really like the designs. I think Usopp, Frankie, and Luffy look the best just because I love Luffy with the goggles. I think that's just something really cool. But anyway, like, remember when we got Film Z and Oda drew this huge cover plate, like this huge color spread with all of the Marines in the background? That was so badass. So compare that to this, kind of like, for this, it's kind of like Oda just went, meh. It still looks really cool. I specifically like the lighting and the shading that he used for the color page. But yeah, when you compare this to the Film Z color spread, man, he drew every single Marine in that. So maybe he just wasn't feeling too well. Maybe he was just tired. He just drew the Straw Hats and the villain of the story there. There's like a roulette table in the background, so it keeps up with the casino theme of the story. In case you don't know, it's going to take place. The movie's going to take place in an island or giant ship, I think, that's kind of like a casino, a giant casino. So it's kind of like Vegas in the One Piece world. And we're kind of overdue for a trailer now. I mean, this thing comes out in July, and we haven't seen one single trailer. Suicide Squad comes out in August. We already have 2 trailers for that. No, but I think the reason why they were waiting is because I think they wanted the anime to show Luffy in Gear 4th in the anime, because I do think we're going to get some Gear 4th in this movie. So that the anime-only watchers would not get spoiled by going to see the movie and see Luffy in Gear 4th. So I think we should be getting a trailer pretty fucking soon. First page of the chapter, and we see that Jack is A-okay. First page, he's looking at the newspaper, he rips it up. I think he's going back to Zou. I've already said this. He's going back to Zou to finish what he started. Now, will Luffy be there when he comes back? I don't think so. Probably, I don't know. But I think there's no point in showing like his fleet, like his, this group of ships lingering on the ocean if he's not going to come back to... It's like, it makes no sense. Also, Momonosuke is the heir to like a throne in Wano. They changed the name. Like, last time it was Kogetsu, now it's like some weird-ass Kokutsu, whatever. You know what I mean. They changed the name of the clan, but he's still the heir to it, I think. He's the son of a lord, so Oda keeping up with that Game of Thrones theme here. He's the inheritor, and I think... So is this why Doflamingo wanted to get his hands on Momonosuke? Because he knew that he was actually the heir to one of the most important positions in Wano or something. So Kinemon is not actually Momonosuke's father, but both of them are still a bunch of pervs, as you can tell by little Momonosuke running up to Nami and getting nose deep in them titties. And then Nami's like, oh, by the way, your dad is a lord. That means he has a lot of money. So the moral of the story is that as long as you have a lot of money, you can stick your face into Nami's boobs. Kinemon actually has a crest on his back that, kind of marks him as a legitimate member of the Kozuki clan. I'm assuming both Momonosuke and Kanjuro also have the same mark, as well as Raizo. And actually, Nekomamushi says something really interesting. Actually, it might be Inuarashi who says this. He says, we knew that if we kept those words from that day in mind and waited, yes, we knew our paths would cross once again. What words and from what fucking day are we talking about? Because here's the thing, the Poneglyph, Robin says that it's red, and she's never seen one that color before. And then Inuarashi says, yes, apparently the red ones, or this red one, is for some other purpose, which means that the message that it contains is probably not Void Century related. So then what the hell is this about? Because Inuarashi says that the crest have been there for hundreds of years. So this, I mean, they go way back, right? And also, like, Raizou's hairdo reminds me of that guy from Skypiea that worked under an L, or Eneru. I think his name was Gadatsu. But yeah, they have the same type of like braids and stuff. So I wonder if we're going to get a connection to that part of the story. And speaking of story, that's the thing. So Raizo and the Poneglyph were inside the whale tree, inside of the tail of the whale. And it seems like every little plot point that we could actually like be in Zou for is getting tied up, with the exception of Jack. Because now Nekomamushi and Inuarashi enter a truce. They're no longer fighting, which to me personally, that felt like super anticlimactic. It was just like, yeah, I guess we could tolerate each other. Not be friends exactly, but we can tolerate each other because we don't want this little kid, this little lord crying. I mean, come on, it was Momonosuke. It just kind of felt like Oda just told himself, yeah, I need to wrap this up quick. So he does that, but it did kind of feel like, oh, well, I mean, it was just, you know, that little boy wanted to cry, and so in order to stop him from crying, it's like, whoop, it's fixed. But I am glad that the story is moving forward. So in that regard, it's not that big of a deal. It's like, okay, we can move on now. Good. So one of the main questions is, how long is it going to take for Robin to decipher and read that poneglyph? Because technically speaking, after that, we have, unless Jack shows up, right, in the nick of time, we have no business in Zou left anymore. Unless like Inuarashi and Nekomamushi are like, okay, while Robin is reading that shit, sit around. We're going to tell you the story of, you know, the relationship between the Minx and the Kogetsu clan, or the Kozuki clan, or whatever the hell. And then we go into flashback and we get like a story, and that kind of like, you know, kills more time. That can happen as well. And it might be, it's going to be super important, because at this point, Oda has reached a point in the story in which if it's not relevant for the finale of this series, then there's no need for it. And I do remember at one point that Inuarashi said that he knew Shanks. So I want to know more about that side of the story. Like, how did he know Shanks? Did he know Roger as well? According to Frankie, all men are obsessed with ninjas. And this guy's called Raizo of the Mist. So if this were Naruto, he'd be from the Hidden Mist Village, like Sabuza and Haku. Yeah, I can just imagine this little troll just like jumping around the fucking Naruto bridge, like throwing shurikens at people. I kind of like how Luffy didn't give a shit about Momonosuke's status. He's just like, yeah, I don't really care. You're still a little brat. And they start fighting because, and I liked it because in all honesty, I didn't really care that much either. It's one thing when you actually earn your title, but when it just gets inherited, it's kind of like, yeah, you're not a big, I mean, we've met a lot of people that are like royalty and stuff. And that actually brings me to another point. It's going to be obvious that whoever runs Wano, like the royal family of Wano, is going to be one of those important families that we're going to see at the Reverie pretty soon as well. So yeah, it's just one of those like important kingdoms that we've talked about and that we've seen, that Doflamingo mentioned. In fact, this kind of reminds me of like the formula that Oda used when he introduced Vivi into the story. Because at first glance, we didn't really know that Vivi was royalty. We didn't know who she was. She was kind of like this antagonist. And it turns out like, no, she was actually like, you know, the princess of Alabastus. So now we know why Dofi wanted Momonosuke in the first place. Like, I guess we just assumed that he wanted him because he had eaten the artificial dragon fruit, but no, it had more to do with his lineage and his, you know, his secret identity. Secret for us, at least. And, you know, it makes sense that Doflamingo would know who Momonosuke actually was, because Dressrosa is also a kingdom. So he would be, you know, he would be aware of the other, you know, political families in you know, throughout the One Piece world. We still have to go get Sanji. Jack is coming in. Luffy has already partied with the Minx, so I think that he's technically set to leave. And in fact, this chapter makes it even more certain that there's going to be a split, because Raizo was tied up, you know, against his will, so that he wouldn't go and, you know, fight Jack or whatever. So I think what's going to happen, because I know Jack is coming in, I think what's going to happen is the Minx are going to tell Luffy, okay, if Jack, you know, if Jack is coming in, Mugiwara, you need to take Raizo away from here. Like, somebody needs to leave and take Raizo away. The Minx already almost died, you know, trying to protect him once. I don't think they're going to risk having Raizo around for the possibility of him getting captured. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please leave me your comments down below with your thoughts about this chapter. I thought this chapter was really good. It was really funny. Really nice comeback from not having a chapter previous week. Like the review if you did. I appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel for more One Piece content. And I'll catch you guys later.